Welcome to this mixed level back bends class. To start, Angela's going to take her right hand toward her left knee, left hand behind her. On an inhale, she lifts the chest. Exhale, she twists. So the thought is of the bottom edge of the shoulder blades popping up toward the collarbone, opening up the chest and upper back. And then we'll switch sides. So oftentimes, yogis may be tempted to round here. You want to think sternum up. Inhaling length. Exhale, maybe that left hand presses down to help you twist further. Strength. And then we'll come back to center. Left hand is going to come beside her. Right arm up and overhead. So side bending to further warm up the spine and also stretching the right side body, foreshadowing the shoulder work that's going to be useful for wheel pose. Switch sides. So each posture in this sequence is taught with unique alignment that helps with the peak postures that's to come. And then come back to center. She'll take her hands and interlace her fingers behind her. She's going to reach the arms back and then she'll land her fist down. So she roots down through her hands to rise through her chest, creating more mobility in the tighter part of most of our backs, the upper back. And she'll release, and then make your way toward a chair pose. So chair pose for a back bending class versus a handstand class, so rather than having the low belly lifted, just show the lift, we're having a little bit more of a sway in the back, but even more so, the chest is reaching up and back, thinking of opening up the shoulders here. And then go ahead and place your hands down. The left foot steps back, right arm lifts, twisting again. Think of the tops of the shoulders leaning back. And then keep the twist, stand, twisted warrior. The heels are hugging together to stabilize her hips, and then up and back. What we want to avoid here in the work to create more mobility in the upper back versus lower is rather than dropping the front of the pelvis forward, just exaggerate that. We want to feel the low belly's drawing back and the chest is lifting up. Yes! Awesome. And now the left arm is going to come across the right thigh. Deep twist. Lengthen the right side body forward. Lean the tops of the shoulders back to open up the collarbones. Inhale, crescent pose. Then to stretch the hip flexor on that left leg, just lean to the right a little bit. Side bend. The outer left hip draws forward as that low belly lifts, opening up the angle there. And then lift yourself up. Step forward. Forward folds. Step the right foot back this time. Left arm comes up. Try to open up the collarbone on the right side. And then lift up to a twisted warrior. Pulling those thighs together. And then reach up and back. Very nice. Look at that massive lift there. Lift of the chest. And then right arm across the left thigh. So coming into it, sometimes we need to round the back to get the arm across the thigh, and then from there, she leans back. Inhaling crescent pose, both arms lift. Okay, and now we're feeling that lift of the low belly as you lean to the left. So we're trying to open up this angle here so that the wheel pose is more accessible. And camel. And the other back bends to come, but wheels are peak. And then inhale up, step your back foot forward. From here, let's make a back bend. Lift the chest up and back, up and back. Cool, and then for most of us, the natural part where we bend is in the low back, and we'll get there. But let's see if we can choose where we back bend. Move your hips back and lift the chest up, 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 get longer. And then stand all the way up, hands to heart center. Very nice. And then we'll use the wall we're going to continue that work. So she's going to come to the wall with her knees right by the wall. And again, we're trying to create mobility where we naturally have less. So rather than thrusting her hips forward to come into the back bend, because that's easier, it's boring, let's try to create mobility where there's less. Stick your butt out a little bit and then lift your chest up. Cool. And then come to neutral. Go ahead and place your palms about just underneath shoulders. There you go. She's going to use the energetics and isometric contraction of the hands pulling down, belly back, lift the chest up, up. So the thought is of a wheel action. The chest is going up and back, up and back, up and back. Awesome. And release. Okay. Now we're going to stretch the shoulders a bit more so the arms can move to the back body with greater ease. So Angela's got the blocks shoulder width apart. She's placed the backs of her elbows, not the inner elbow, on the blocks. And because she's more bendy, I can place a third block between her hands. The chest is dropping as the hands come to the back, back, back. If your forehead hits the floor easily, lift it 1 millimeter off of the floor and think of the chest continuing to drop, to melt, to soften. Okay. The chest continues to drop here. So again, we're opening up this angle here so that the wheel pose is more accessible without pinching the shoulder blades together, but keeping them broad in a safer position. And notice how she's giving herself like little pulses down. Little dynamic movement stretching can be useful after the hold. And then lift yourself up. Very cool. So for the yogis who are newer to wheel pose and have tighter shoulders, we're going to have our blocks on a little slant here. And just going to lay her head between the blocks. She'll place her palms on the blocks and she'll go ahead, thinking of the feet hip width apart. The knees stay the same. She'll pop to her head first. Okay? Thinking of those shoulder blades spreading as the elbows reach to the wall, and then go ahead, push the floor away from you. Okay, so you notice if someone, just move your head closer to your legs. If someone had tighter shoulders, this is much more accessible. But the thought is of moving the chest to the wall because we're focusing for now on opening the upper back, the tighter area. You can even walk your feet more to the center of the room, actually opposite, and then press the chest to the wall even more. See if you can get further back. Yes. Hold for 3, 2, and then she'll come on down. Cool. Now, she can do wheel pose really easy, so we're going to add a little flair to it. Go ahead and place your hands overhead into the wheel position. Okay, the inner thighs are hugging in. She'll go ahead and come to the crown of her head. And then she'll press up. Lift your heels up. And now sit your butt down. Can we get lower? Lower. Now that's pretty cool, huh? Lift the knees higher, heels higher, butt down. Yes, these actions can be tricky to coordinate. This is her first time doing it. She's doing pretty good, huh? And then tuck the chin to the chest, straighten up and lower down. There you have it, liquid wheel. Now you give it a try.